Okay, so first of all, hello YouTube, hello again. And I want to do this video on a substance called witch powder. Now, let's just start off. First of all, you obviously can't see my face because the camera is being really awkward, and this is the only angle I can get in which I can actually show you what I'm doing. Well, halfly show you what I'm doing. Now, this video is on a substance called witch powder, and with this, the recipe that I got was from a Cornish witch. Now, the idea of witch powder is that it protects the witch. It protects you from all negativity, from any negative spirits, any malevolent spirits that may come into your home, if there are people that are against you, you can carry it around with you. It will protect you from physical danger, and it will also protect you from other witches. This is quite a specific one. It will protect you against other witches casting or throwing spells at you. So it's a really good powder to use. It's also sometimes used for spells to throw in, to disperse any negativity away. Sorry, the camera keeps rocking. It's also used to throw in at spells to keep any negativity out of the way, and any malevolent spirits or interfering spirits that may want to do the witch harm. Now, generally protection, getting rid of bad spirits. It's a really good powder. In my experience, I use this quite a lot. As I said, this is a Cornish witchcraft recipe, though I will be completely honest. Studying hoodoo and root work and conjure, there are certain ingredients that are used that do not in any way, shape or form come from England or come from Cornwall. And there are a lot of similarities between this powder and a lot of hoodoo powders that I have used in the past. So I do think that this may be an adaptation of hoodoo root work protection powder, and anybody that practices hoodoo or practices conjure will kind of see. But witches are known to steal certain things, but obviously I think it's very important to know where the actual whereabouts of what you're doing and to know where it comes from, and that's always a good thing. Now, should we get started? First of all, we will start with red brick dust. Now, particularly in hoodoo practice, we see that bricks laid across the floor is meant to be good protection against anybody that is after you for money that you may owe them, and it's also used for protection, though there are some debates. I've heard some people say, no, it's good for all-round protection. And then I've heard other people that say, no, it's good for protection against people that are after money that you owe them. But brick powder, red bricks are normally used in this powder, hence the redness of it. Another thing in which we use is dragon's blood resin. Now, dragon's blood resin is red, and if you get hold of a good, nice chunk of it, I haven't got any on me, but it's almost shiny. It's really pretty, and it smells amazing. And dragon's blood is used for general protection as well. It's also used for other things. So we add brick dust in it and dragon's blood. So then going forward, we add some rosemary. Now, rosemary is really good for protection. It's really good for protecting you against any evil spirits, basically. You can use rosemary. Some people also throw some rowan in there. Any protection herbs, basically. But rosemary is one of the ingredients that were recommended to me. It's a pungent scent. Witch powder is a very pungent aroma. It's a very pungent scent. So, of course, we're going to use herbs and certain resins and fragrances that are pungent, like the dragon's blood, rosemary, and we're also going to use camphor in it as well, which again is a very pungent scent. And I think the idea basically is that because of how pungent the aroma is going to be and how strong it's going to be, it will deter negativity. It will sort of clear out with its scent, negativity, bad spirits, and in a lot of different traditions and different cultures, they believe that by burning sweet herbs and sweet aromas, this pleases the gods and is good to disperse away negative spirits. So again, brick dust, dragon's blood, rosemary, and camphor. We're going to go to camphor as well. Camphor is really good to use, to rid of any negativity. It's a good purifier. It's a good cleanser against any negativity and any bad spirits. So we also use that. Now, another thing that is added is black salt. Which is again a hardcore protection thing, and it's good to get rid of things as well with black salt. Black salt, and last but not least, soot. Now, soot is used to absorb. It's used to absorb negativity. It's used to absorb any malevolent entities or energies that may come your way. In a lot of Cornish witchcraft traditions, they will place a bowl of soot by the door in order to absorb the negativity, and in order to get rid of that, well, not get rid of it, but absorb any curses that may come through the door. It's a bowl of soot. Now, soot is also used in flying ointment as well. There are certain ingredients of flying ointment where soot is incorporated into it. Now, what you need is a mortar and pestle. Now, obviously, you need to grind the red brick. You need to grind the dragon blood, the camphor, soot, the black salt, and the rosemary until you have a substance that looks like this. Now, it's quite a reddish brown, and it smells beautiful. It really does. At first when you make it smells really strong, but after a while you'll find that it starts to smell a bit almost like a washing powder, how fresh it smells. It's really nice. It's a really pleasant scent to smell. Now, I had recently a bad dispute with some neighbours, and they were really harassing me, and I put some of this by the door asking for various spirits that I work with to protect my property, to protect my home against all the negative shit they were throwing at me. So, as I said, but you can also carry it around with you. You can incorporate it into spells. You can, put it in protection charms. You can sprinkle it in cars if you don't like. If you're frightened whilst travelling, you can incorporate that, sprinkle that in the car and around the car. But it's just generally really good stuff, and I thought I'd share it with you. Now, grind all of this to a really fine powder, like a really fine powder. You want it, you want it very, very fine. Powder, not bits, chunks of brick. You want it all into a powder. Now, when you do that, once you do that, normally what I tend to do is, whilst I am, making powders, and this goes with also hoodoo powders as well, what I do is I put my intent into it. So I put in what I want to, put into it. So I'll say, I put the intent of protection into this and make sure that, this will protect me. And I imagine this powder that I'm making protecting me and protecting my friends, protecting the people that I love, Then after that, what I would do is normally witches will put, particularly Cornish witches as well, will put things in a bowl, in a hoozle bowl, which is basically a witch's libation, an offering to the gods and to the spirits in which they work with, and it's called the hoozle. Now, for that we have a bowl and a cup. Normally with a lot of powders, we put that in the bowl and leave it on on an altar, and ask the spirits to add to it so it cooks. And you leave it overnight to cook with the spirits, and it's basically empowering it and putting more power into it and more power into it, and it's cooking and cooking and cooking and gaining more, more power by the spirits that you work with. And yeah, so sorry. As I said, you leave that to cook, and What I also done as well is I've burnt seals into mine. So there are particular seals of Solomon in which you can use for protection, and I will burn that into the witch powder, and I'm sure there's no reason why you can't make up a sigil and put that into that. So yeah, that's it. So the recipe is red brick, dragon's blood, rosemary, camphor, soot, black salt, and obviously any seals or sigils. Make sure you don't mix up seals with sigils, because I was always told that was a big no-no, and it would offend the particular deities and energies and spirits that you were working with in that seal. So, seals of Solomon have really good protection amulets, protection seals in them. So that's what I used, and obviously I burnt that into it and ground that again. And leave it to cook. Put it on your altar and ask the spirits in which you work with to empower it. Some witches can even tread the mill around the powders, around certain powders in which they work with. So yeah, that's it, and I really hope that you guys like this video, and I hope that you can make your own witch powder and sort of see what happens. This is my version. As I said, this I have heard this off a Cornish witch, but there are certain things that I've put into it that have been my own personal touch to it. So take care, and over and out. Peace.